I actually listened to people's critiques and edited the video. Just by getting rid of this one scene, there was such a big difference in the video, and that's literally all we were asking for. So she was still able to allude to her eating disorder and body dysmorphia without being harmful to fat people. And I stand by my criticism. This is all we wanted. That small change didn't hurt Taylor in any way, and it made the video better.
Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. So today what I want to do is actually talk about the clip that we just watched, and I want to talk about Miss Taylor Swift, Miss Americana herself. And basically I want to make a point that Taylor Swift is not a part of fat acceptance, and she never has been, and she never will be. This picture of her is from the not the Miss Americana tour, oh my gosh, the Eras tour. It's on CNN.com. It's showing her, she's got a little bit of muscle, and she's kind of, being powerful woman energy in this picture. And basically, look at her. Is Taylor Swift fat? No. So that's what I want to say firstly. Just because Taylor Swift changed her music video, just because she did something to sort of virtue signal or to get people off of her back, that doesn't mean that she actually believes in fat acceptance or that she ever will. And I think that that's what a lot of these fat acceptance people don't understand. They think that if they can get somebody to be quiet or get somebody to bend the knee, that they've changed somebody's mind. Victoria, you never changed Taylor's mind. Her mind is exactly the same as it always was. She still thinks being fat is unhealthy. She still thinks being fat is unattractive. She still thinks it would harm her career if she were overweight. She's still a part of all that. And not to say that a lot of those things aren't necessarily true. I think, the attraction side, that's more subjective, but health-wise, absolutely fact. Somebody who's morbidly obese, they're, like myself, there are health risks to being morbidly obese. There are complications that come with obesity. It can really harm your physical and mental health and well-being. So being fat is not something to aspire to be. And Taylor Swift is right for not being a part of that. She's right for not actively pushing for fat acceptance messaging. She's right for not believing it herself. I would say that Taylor Swift, her physique at this point is something that's more to be aspired to be. She definitely looks a lot healthier than she used to. I think she was probably a bit too thin back in the day. If you guys have not seen, which I'm sure any Swifties that are watching you've seen, in her documentary, Miss Americana, she details her struggles with her ED, where she was not eating very much and doing tours fasted and a lot of these kinds of things, which is kind of insane. And she talks about how she used to be lightheaded all the time and all this stuff and not really have energy. And she's like, I have energy now. And I think it was a process for her. So while I don't see Taylor Swift as the sort of fat acceptance queen or icon that FA TikTok would prefer her to be, I do see her as somebody who is a pretty successful restrictive ED recovery story. And as somebody who had an ED, although of course it was not a restrictive ED, mine was BED, I admire Taylor for that. She's inspiring to me for that. That is something that I understand and that I'm proud of when it comes to her. And I'm really happy for her in regards to that, because I understand how difficult it can be to have these feelings about your body or yourself. A lot of EDs, in my opinion, a lot of having an ED is hating your body. and hating yourself. And so to see her kind of overcome that is a really good thing. Now, of course, in my wildest dreams, as Taylor would sing, I would hope that she could push back against the fat acceptance rhetoric, or at least not change her video. I would never expect that of her. Taylor is extremely, what's the word? I want to say thrifty. That's not the right word. Strategic, I guess. She's very strategic in terms of her career and her image. It's something that she cares a lot about. So she made that decision specifically to get people off her back. And while I don't necessarily agree with that, I don't find that to be a morally strong position. I don't necessarily expect that from Taylor as a Swiftie. I understand these things. Like, image is so important to her across any level. So while I don't expect her to take a stand on certain important issues, especially at a time like this where the fat acceptance dogma is kind of taking over people's brains, especially on the left side of the spectrum, which Taylor is the voice of the left, I would have appreciated her to take a bit of a stand, because she obviously doesn't believe in fat acceptance at all. I mean, look at her. She doesn't. The other point that I want to make in this video is that if you are a fat person and you are starting to believe these fat acceptance talking points, or if you're wondering if some of them are true and all this stuff, be aware that a lot of times people will say they agree even if they don't, just to not have criticism. Taylor Swift isn't the only person who will bend the knee or be quiet about certain things. So at the end of the day, Taylor doesn't really have to care about how you feel, in the sense that if she can get you off her back, she still gets to go home with her millions of dollars and her in-shape bod. And you will still be fat, and she will still not think being fat is attractive, not think being fat is healthy, not think being fat is a lot of these things that people in fat acceptance believe. Many people say they believe it, but they don't, is what I'm trying to say. There are going to be people in your life that say they believe this, but they don't. And all I'm really saying in regards to that, because I don't think fat acceptance is good. I don't think obesity is good from experience. I know how truly horrible it is. I would just say, don't think other people are thinking it's good, because they're not. They're not. Because like I said, look at her. The proof is in the pudding. So that's what I have to say about this, I guess. With that, I'm going to go ahead and go. If you guys enjoyed this, please do like the video. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I will just say I'm very happy for Taylor that she had such a strong recovery. And I don't expect her support on this issue, but I do wish it was there, if that makes sense. Don't forget about the little people, Taylor. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever.